It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Thursday, May 6, 2021. Number 1. The defense attorney in the Derek Chauvin trial in the murder of George Floyd is calling for a new trial. This call for the trial was made exactly 2 weeks after Chauvin was found guilty in the original trial on 3 charges of pressing his knee against George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. Among the 10 reasons cited for a new trial, Eric Nelson is calling out judicial decisions, and now there are questions about one juror who participated in a Washington, D.C. march to honor Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Number 2, the Republican Party is in the midst of a major shift as prominent GOP leaders are pushing for the ouster of conference chair Liz Cheney. Cheney is the highest-ranking woman in Republican leadership, and she's been under fire for the past few months for her repeated criticism of the former president's claims of fraud in the 2020 election and downplaying of the January 6th insurrection on the U.S. Capitol. Top GOP House leaders Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise are expressing concern about Cheney's leadership. Number 3, a federal judge has vacated a nationwide freeze on evictions that was put in place by federal health officials to help renters remain in their homes during the pandemic. The ruling was a win for a coalition of property owners and realtors who brought one of the several challenges against the CDC's eviction moratorium. It's unclear what will happen next, but housing advocates are calling on the Justice Department to appeal. Number 4, Black Lives Matter demonstrators clashed with patrons outside of a Louisville, Kentucky restaurant over the weekend after a diner pulled a gun on them. On the day of the Kentucky Derby, demonstrators marched through the Churchill Downs area with signs to demand justice for Breonna Taylor, who was shot and killed by police during a botched drug raid last year. At least 5 demonstrators were arrested and charged with possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, failure to disperse, and evading police. Number 5. As more people get vaccinated, a tasty measurement tool for consumer confidence is pointing up with champagne sales on the rise. According to Nielsen IQ, during the 4 weeks that ended March 27th, champagne sales in the U.S. popped 88.5% over last year. The consumption of champagne is an accurate assessment of consumer confidence because when consumers are drained politically, economically, and emotionally, they tend to drink liquor. And when people are in the celebratory mood, the drink of choice is more likely to be wine, beer, and champagne. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. It's not your job to make other people happy. You can't. It is your job, however, to make yourself happy. And you can do that. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with George Wallace and comedian Ron G. as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and Black Voters Matter. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.